Okay, so yesterday I attempted to do a how-to video on making realistic looking mud. And I was in a hurry, it was in the end of the day, and well, it was kind of awful. So I am redoing that today. So what we're going to need for this is brown weathering powder, or really whatever color you want your dirt to be, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to be using brown. I'm also going to be using some matte medium and some gloss medium, both from Liquitex. And I've also got some fine sand here as sort of an extra, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Now, just to sort of sum this up, essentially what you're going to be doing is mixing up medium and your weathering powder to create your effect. And you want to have a really large amount of powder. Really, the more powder you have, the chunkier it's going to be. And in the case of the matte medium, the drier it'll end up being. Now, yesterday I did this on a piece of plastic card, and I think that might have been the better idea. But anyway, so as you can see, it's already kind of getting chunky there. But I'm going to need just a bit more, I think, to get the effect that I want. And if you want it really dry, one of the things you can do is while it's wet like this, don't mix all the dry stuff up, just let it sit on top. All right. So that's our dry. And I'm going to just get all of that off of there. All right. So on this side, we're going to have our wet. So for the wet, we're going to use gloss medium. And this stuff's a lot thicker than the matte for some reason. There we go. But see how it gets really, I was going to say mucky, but I guess muddy is really the right term for this. And now, when you have it the consistency you want it, you can then just add this to whatever it is you're trying to mud up. Now, keep in mind, this is using up a lot of weathering powder, and weathering powder isn't cheap. So I would probably limit this to the things that, you kind of want to do really nice finishes on, really nice weathered finishes on. And when this dries, this one will be glossier, this one will be flatter, so this one will look drier than this one. But here's something else you can do. I got some of this sand, and so we'll mix some of the, and if you want to, go for some extra chunks, because obviously dirt has all kinds of different textures to it. So we're going to just mix a little bit of this in there to give it a little bit more grit, a little chunk. This is not unlike the Citadel technical, their textures. Same kind of thing. You're just mixing something else into it. And let's see what happens when we mix a little bit of this into the dry area too. All right, so now we've got relatively clean dry, relatively clean wet, and then a little more textured version of both. And we're going to let that dry and then come back. All right, so as you can see, this has dried more or less. And we've got the wet mud, both textured and smooth. We've got the dry mud, drier. As it is, the matte medium, when you spread it on thick like this, doesn't get completely flat. So it really looks like it's in the process of drying as opposed to being completely dry. When you add some of the texture, it gets a little drier. And I did a little area here where before it dried, I sprinkled some of the weathering powder on top and just let it sit as opposed to mixing it in. And so that is the most dry looking of all of that. So you've got different things that you can do with it, and you can apply this directly to a model. You can put it on a base, and you don't have to, obviously don't have to stick with brown colors. Dirt comes in many colors, and there's certainly different weathering powders that you can use and different effects that you might be able to get out of it. But this is just something that you can do just to add to your painting arsenal. And that's it. And I really hope this is a better look at creating realistic mud effects using weathering powders. That's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.